What makes former Attorney General Bill Barr think that Melania Trump is smarter than her husband? Keep watching for the details of that hot take and more from Barr's new tell-all book. Following his time as Attorney General under Presidents George H.W. Bush and Donald Trump, Bill Barr released a memoir on March 8, 2022, titled One Damn Thing After Another. In the book, Barr recounts his time in both administrations, no doubt two very different experiences. The former Attorney General told NPR's Morning Edition of his time working under Trump. The media chose to weave a narrative that I was a toady to the president, and that was false from the beginning because I felt I could be independent, and I was. Case in point, the minute he told the then president that he didn't believe his election fraud claims, Barr said, after the election, he didn't seem to listen to anybody except a group of sycophants who were telling him what he wanted to hear.
He started raising some of the fraud claims, and I, in detail, refuted them and explained why they were not, had no merit.
But what he said in press interviews pales in comparison to the tea Barr spills within the confines of his new book, including some pretty interesting things about former First Lady Melania Trump. The Independent reports that Barr is adamant in his new book that he had always believed Melania to be smarter than her husband, the former president, and perhaps for good reason. Barr recounts a conversation he had with then President Trump, who told him that Melania was solely responsible for him being hired within his administration. Barr writes that Trump said of Barr's Senate confirmation hearings, "We were watching the hearing together, and when I got angry, she said, 'Are you crazy? Look at him, right out of central casting. He looks and acts like an attorney general. Leave him alone. He's carrying himself just right. And he will be confirmed, which is what you need.'" Barr also describes the former First Lady as elegant and intelligent. Barr didn't have such nice things to say about Melania's husband, writing that, "Donald Trump has shown he has neither the temperament nor persuasive powers to provide the kind of positive leadership that is needed." Barr added that the former president lacked a modicum of self-restraint. Melania Trump has always been a bit of a mystery, as has her relationship with Donald. During her tenure as the First Lady, she famously shirked many of the traditional First Lady responsibilities and openly complained about decorating for Christmas.
"I'm working like my ass off
I know.
with Christmas stuff that, who gives a about Christmas stuff and decoration."
Maybe it's the age gap, infidelity accusations, the fact that she's his third wife, or the numerous videos of her refusing to hold his hand. But people can't seem to figure the couple out. A few insiders have offered up their own explanations. During the Trump administration, Mary Jordan, who wrote a biography of Melania, told The Guardian, "I don't know any couple that spends as much time apart. Trump and Melania are often in the same building, but nowhere near each other. She rarely goes into the West Wing. She doesn't like to golf. She has her own little spa. She likes to be isolated. She's a loner. He is a loner. They're perfectly happy to be separated." Jordan was careful to add that even though Trump and Melania don't seem super close, they make the arrangement work. She said, "They have a very unusual relationship, but there is a bond there. They have a deal right from the beginning." Bill Barr may think Melania Trump is smart enough to be president, but there's no indication she has those ambitions. She seems to be going in a very different direction. Recently, Melania has tried her hand at NFTs, and insider reports their success has been limited. In December 2021, Melania announced her plans to drop a collection of NFTs based on her husband's time in office, with the intent of donating the profits to various charities. The first collection sold for $180,000. The problem, according to ArtNet, is that it seems it was most likely Melania herself who bought it, perhaps because she had no other buyers. Since then, she has dropped other, potentially more successful, collections. The former First Lady has also gotten involved in more traditional forms of charity, but even those have proven to be a bit problematic. For example, she intended to hold a Florida fundraiser, Tulips and Topiaries, which sold tickets upwards of $50,000. But the New York Times reports the event had to be indefinitely postponed because one of the charities Melania was working with was not legally registered. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about people in the news are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.